Well, it was a pretty wild day of weather. We started out pretty humid. Then we saw some pretty impressive thunderstorm activity really push through, but sort of give up before it got here to San Angelo. And of course, we're still on the lookout for some of that thunderstorm activity. You might have seen some light sprinkling down here in San Angelo, but things are still pretty dry down in those southern counties. Now, they're still on the lookout for some of this thunderstorm activity as we look at the temperature change over the last 24 hours, going from those upper 70s, making good 23 degree run, and then we're fighting back and forth between those 90s, and then we're cooling off. Right now, they're working on the sensor, but right now it's in those 80s across the board. Everybody else, we have that 10-degree spread right now and across the entire region. 84 here in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in a combination of those mid to lower 80s. But of course, when you take a good look across the entire region, everybody else is pushing down into those 70s. So you see how long it kind of takes for things to kind of catch up to one another. But the 10 degrees is definitely out there. 72 in Menard, 83 here in San Angelo, 75 up there in Sterling City, and 86 down there in Junction. There it is. And you see what sort of activity it takes to get that 10-degree spread right now, because that high pressure is still pretty extreme. In fact, it was the second hottest year on record right now, but we're not done yet, and there might be some tropical formation pretty far out towards the east. We're tracking it right now. Humidity values have pushed way up into those 50s across the entire region. This morning, we were up at about 80%. And if you get a good look near Coleman, they're at 83% humidity, while that dew point is at 70, and everybody else in a good combination of those 70s and 60s across the entire region, including here in San Angelo. We could see some early morning thunderstorm activity as a result. Here's the upper level pattern going into tomorrow. Now, you're seeing this high pressure really hang out across the four corners. It's being enhanced by this low pressure system that's still going to continue to push down across the entire southern part of the country. That includes down here in the Concho Valley, where we're still seeing a lot of that thunderstorm activity. Get a good look at all this convective activity across the entire country, going all the way down the Rocky Mountains, down into the south across Texas, and then making its way all the way up the east coast with a strong pocket of dry air right there at California. We'll see if they don't push any more record temperatures with some of that excruciating heat. Moisture tracker is going to show you how it's going to push down still, but then you see a small spike make its way up near Alabama and Mississippi with that stove piping I always talk about, with that strong concentration from Nebraska all the way down into the Concho Valley. When we get a good look at the severe weather outlook right now, it could change by tomorrow. Of course, still seeing some of that activity around the Rocky Mountain Front Range, but things have finally calmed down here in the Concho Valley. We saw a little bit of that snaking activity make its way through the area, but things have died down and calmed down for the evening. By tomorrow morning, we'll see if we don't see any more of that convective activity. You can see a lot of this cloud cover really just encompassing the area, really mirroring the moisture tracker, if not that water vapor imagery. But we take you down into the Concho Valley, where some of those thunderstorm watches have finally expired. Watching some of these clouds fizzle out, might as well shut down the radar right now, because things are pretty calm, pretty dry, but we're still seeing a lot of that overcast conditions as we make our way in towards the evening. Now, these overcast clouds could turn into some potentially early morning thunderstorms. We're going to watch it start there at Brady, then it's going to push all the way through Menard, Eden, make its way up to San Angelo. Then things sort of calm down in the afternoon as we could see some spotty showers throughout the rest of the evening. Going to be a pretty humid start to Thursday, and then by Friday we could be pushing all the way back up into those triple digits. So tonight, back down into the 70s. Only a couple more degrees to go, but I'm not going to rule out another isolated thunderstorm or two. It could still pop off. You saw how high those humidity values are. Then by tomorrow, pretty humid day, early morning for some thunderstorm activity, and then we're going to see that cloud cover sort of clear up for a pretty humid Friday. Things are only going to get cooler from there, and there is definitely more rain on the way. You know we need it. Talking about O.C. Fisher Lake, wish it would just concentrate all that rain right there in that area as we continue to make our way towards the weekend finally, where we could finally see some more thunderstorm activity push in by the weekend. Then we get to that fourth week of July, and we could see those temperatures push all the way down into those upper 80s, with the lows following the same pattern, going from those mid 70s down into those upper 60s. Stay tuned. One more up the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.